But I mean, so I had this crazy dream last night that I guess I was with Angela Bassett at this dinner, I guess for Trump, at this fancy restaurant, and we was all hugged up and stuff, and I guess showing a lot of public displays of affection and all that, and people were looking at us, and it was kind of weird, and like I don't even know where that came from. Normally, like when you have a dream, it's maybe because someone that you maybe you saw something on TV or whatever, and it comes back to you in a dream. I mean, okay, yeah, I see plenty of Trump, but I haven't seen anything of Angela Bassett lately. I don't know why that came out. So, but it was weird. But yeah, I mean, that's all I remember, man. But yeah, all right. Oh, so you ready? All right. On this episode, so the media have laid out their latest accusations on Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and we're here at Trend Chat, not really going to get too much into it. We're just going to give you a summary of the accusations on Kavanaugh from the media.
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
From the highways of America, here's the podcast where we talk politics, a little entertainment, some culture, and this and that, from the road to your ears. This is Trend Chat with your host, Brian Bledsoe.
And welcome to another episode of Trend Chat. I am your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you want to connect with us, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. It's all the same name, at Trend Chat 24/7. And many times I've done that, I for some reason kind of forgot. I think I forgot one of them actually. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Yeah. And so appreciate you listening. We're here on TrendChat247.com, as well as most popular podcast outlets. And we will always say for you to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to grow this audience for Trend Chat. So, as I mentioned in the intro, it's not, when it comes to these accusations against Justice Brett Kavanaugh, we not even, at one point when it came out, we were tempted to play our interview with Molly Hemingway and Kara Servino about their book, Justice on Trial, talking about the whole ordeal with what happened last year with everything with Justice Brett Kavanaugh and all the accusations back then. And we were thinking about, okay, maybe we should go ahead and play that now, because we did that almost over a month ago. But we were going to wait until, I guess, the week of the year anniversary of all that. Oh, well, when he got confirmed and sworn in. And so, but we were going to just, because of this news, we were like, well, let's go ahead and release it now. And then it fell apart so quickly. We were like, oh, well, we'll just wait. So I guess we're telling you what's coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll have that interview with Molly Hemingway and Kara Servino talking about their book. But that's in 2 weeks. So we're just going to hold off on that because, like I said, it just kind of, it came and went so fast. And so, yeah, that's it as far as how, like, we're not even going to even get into it because it's really not even, at this point, not even worth the airspace to talk about. I guess one other thing, President Trump mentioned that maybe he should sue for all of this, man. But hey, yeah, if you do that, I mean, that'll be that'll be years of them just giving them free license to go through every bit of his history now, because then then there'll be a lawsuit and all that. So yeah, but that's on him if he want to. But so I know another thing that just came out recently was, so there were pictures out there of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in blackface, and this was yesterday. He issued an apology, and this was, this was years ago, and like I said, he gave an apology saying, there was, basically no excuse, and he's sorry, and no, he's a liberal, so he'll be all right. I mean, yeah, he may have to, lay low for a while, but I mean, it's not like he's gonna lose his job or nothing. Not like if anybody that was considered a conservative or on the right of any sort, that person would be instantly canceled. So, but Trudeau has definitely played his part as being the uber progressive that he is up there in Canada. So I think he'll be okay. The media be very quick to forgive him, and as long as he pay some penance doing something, maybe he'll I think he groveled enough for them, which is not much for them whenever a liberal is caught up in something like this. As long as he just says he's sorry and really looks like he mean it, yeah, they will, okay. I mean, they show no such grace to anybody that is a conservative, Republican, or anybody of that sort. So, but that's what it is. So, and yeah, so like I said, he'll be all right. Now we're broadcasting here in Chicago again. I don't know how many times we've been in Chicago when we're doing this podcast, but I just mentioned that just to make just to let you know where we're at as we're recording, and also as I was driving through to pick up my load to Gold. I was going to Ohio and back and forth. I've been doing that, and I noticed as I was driving through to pick up, and I saw all these people on the sidewalk picketing, just with these signs. And before I could even make out what the signs were, I already knew what it was because I've heard about the news that workers at GM are on strike. As of this recording, I don't know where they're at now, but at that time when I was driving through, I was like, I'm guessing that's a GM warehouse or something about GM right there, because I see all these people outside. And just to show, as soon as I got close enough, I saw the signs and the UAW out there, and as I'm passing through, like the emotion in me, kind of like like little kids want you to motion to honk the horn. I guess to showing support for what they're doing. And for one, I didn't. Two, I don't do that normally a lot, unless it's like kids. When I see like grown people doing, it's kind of weird sometimes. I mean, I do it sometimes, but it just but it wasn't about that really, because when it comes to I guess worker disputes and all that, like I have no idea as far as what is going on. And I know a lot of times you hear from conservatives and it seems like they're just instantly against unions, which I'm not automatically against unions. Unions are fine. What I have a problem with is, and if I was able to talk, is especially in Illinois, I don't know if this is a right to work state or whatnot. I don't know. And right to work basically just where if you're a right to work state, then you're not required to join the union. It's something you have to opt in, which is what sounds like, the fair idea. And so my thing is that I would want to know, well, first off, is everyone required to join the union? And if they say yes, that they're basically forced to join, even if they don't want to, their dues still are deducted from their paycheck. Then that's strike one for me. When if someone's talking about that, if that's what they're doing in their state, and I don't know, like I said, I have no idea what's going on with GM, the whole ordeal and whole whatever, the strike and all that. But yeah, that's one thing I'm against. I think a lot of conservatives are against this, that in particular, as far as requiring someone to join the union and giving them no out. Because even if they don't want to join, like I said, their union fees are automatically deducted, just like, like taxes. And so that's what I'm against, because unions union can be good, I'm definitely not in favor of public unions, in particular. I guess if I'm picking one, unions within government, I'm not as much of a fan of, but I could see something, like police unions or stuff like that. So it's more of a case by case basis, even though it tends to be seen that conservatives are just against unions altogether, which is, like I said, which is not the case. A lot of conservatives are in unions, and a lot of times it's more the union leadership that is more the problem, where you find out, because you've noticed a lot of unions tend to just support Democrats. Most of the money that these unions get from their union dues are donated to Democrat candidates, even though a lot of the members are not Democrats. So that tends to be one of the big issues when it comes to unions, especially at the executive level. So anyway, it just I just noticed that as I was in Chicago, and like I said, I'm guessing this is across the country, just GM in general, and I guess we'll see about that. Now, also, the flip side of that, as far as when I was talking about, as far as people being required to join the union, because there's another flip side to that, where when it comes to negotiations for what is benefits or pay or whatever, if you don't join the union and the union negotiates a better benefits package or a better pay raise, and if they get all of that, if you don't join the union, I would say you shouldn't receive any of that. You would have to negotiate your own rate, put it that way. So that will be I guess that'd be kind of the pros and cons of it. So the pro of it, if you feel like you don't want to join the union, because like I mentioned, maybe because of the leadership and what they do with the dues and far as donating to Democrat candidates. So you would like that choice to not join the union because of that. But the con would be that you would have to negotiate your own pay package and benefits and all that. Because if you're not going to join the union, you shouldn't receive the benefits of whatever that they negotiate, whether good or bad. So, but that's just, I guess, my general idea. No pun intended, but yeah, General Motors, my general idea. But yeah, that's kind of my idea when it comes to unions. Now, I haven't even mentioned who we have on on this episode. And here we are 15 minutes in. So we're going to have Not Your Average Gun Girls, which is actually the name of this episode, because I'm just going to keep it simple. So we're going to have Amy Robbins and Emily Valentine with us to talk about their podcast and also their, individual ventures. As far as for Amy is Alexo Athletica, and Emily will Style Me Tactical. So we're going to talk about that. And also, in the interview, Amy mentioned a couple of things as far as what's new. And at that time when we recorded, it wasn't released. So we're going to actually have that announcement after the interview. So yeah, that's coming up soon in this episode. But first off, just want to say, first off, I want to mention, I don't want to mention this first. I want to mention this after that, after the interview. But odgapparel.com, check them out. It's great quality Christian apparel and accessories. It's not just shirts and not just, and whatnot. It's mugs and all, and ties and socks. I have a couple of their socks as well. And yeah, also it's getting close to fall. Well, is it fall? But anyway, you can get hoodies and all that. And, stop being dead shirt, which I wore on the Chad Prather show. Check it out. You can see it there. Or God is not my co-pilot, which when someone first reads that, it tends to want to ask, oh, God is not your co-pilot, and which I will respond, because he is the pilot, because he is sovereign over all. So, but yeah, check them out at odgapparel.com, and you can get 10% off if you put in the code TrendChat10. So, and talking about these codes, I actually have a new code for one of our, one of our podcast partners. So we will get to that later on. But before that, let's hear a word from our friends from the Founding Project, and we'll be back in a second.
Hello, Trend Chat listeners. If you like the Founding Project's Civics Education video series, Civics for All Ages, and our educational meme series, we think you will love our new website. Join us at thefoundingproject.com and be a part of the civics movement. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Hey everybody, it is Chad Prather, host of the Chad Prather Show. You are listening to Trend Chat with my man, Brian Bledsoe. Come on with it.
So, if you have never heard of a singer, pop, I guess, I don't know, I guess, celebrity, Sam Smith. If you haven't heard of him, or if you have, look him up. But he's made some. I like the music somewhat. I mean, it's catchy. So, but anyway, I was gonna say he came out. I mean, he's already came out as being gay, but that's not what this is about, because he also, I guess, came out again in a way of saying that he want to go by the pronouns of they, them, because he want to, I guess. Now he's announcing that he's non-binary, meaning that he's neither male or female. And okay, and so he want to go by the pronouns they and them, which, okay, he's not the first one to start this. There have been plenty of people out there that are been using all sorts of different pronouns. So even just the regular pronouns we've been using for hundreds and thousands of years, whether, he, him, she, her, and all that. So, but now people on Twitter want to specify to make sure I want to be known as he, him. Those are my pronouns. And so, but there's been other people who want to be considered non-binary to have their pronouns to be they and them. So this is not particularly new, but I think Sam Smith is probably the most prominent person to make this announcement, I guess. And so from that, people on social media has been basically kind of being I guess in the way of far as language goes and proper English, or making the point. Now, look, this is coming from someone who I am not an English scholar by no means. So, but also it seems quite obvious when you talk about they, them. They means multiple people. On the basic level, that they meaning you're talking about one or two people. Two people at least. Those two. But, like I said, I'm not going to get too much into it, but that's just the basics right there, right? But leave it to Merriam-Webster to come in. Leave it to Merriam-Webster to come to the rescue and basically, legitimize the left's definition of they. Now, what they're doing is also not new either, because it's not like this is not the first time where they have, where when it comes to a particular word that is being used in, I guess, on a widespread level and basically being normalized. And so, it's kind of like, bling bling was put in a dictionary because it was, in a rap song and everyone knew, and it was that, and, they decided to put in the dictionary just because. And so now I'm guessing because of this news, and it got so much attention, so Merriam-Webster came out to say that now they is also in the dictionary to also describe for non-binary people to use for their pronouns. So like I said, so they just came in and make sure to save the day for people that are basically wanting to use proper English. And when they mentioned as far as to use they even came up with a blog. This I think this is the first time I ever feel like I'm about to have to got something in my throat or something. Anyway, feel like maybe I should have been a professional and got that fixed or something before I started. Anyway, but so in the blog that they wanted to basically explain why they added the non-binary option to use they as a pronoun. They here's a little bit of that blog, basically just mentioning about their criteria, which after reading it now, it just, okay, I'm just going to read it. So all new words and meanings that we enter in our dictionaries meet 3 criteria: meaningful use, sustained use, and widespread use. So non-binary they has a clear meaning. It's found in published text, in transcript, and in general discourse. And its use can be steadily growing. And its use has been steadily growing over the past decades. English speakers are encountering non-binary they in social media profiles and in pronoun stickers applied to conference badges. There is no doubt that this is an established member of the English language, which means it belongs in Merriam-Webster's dictionaries. So, their criteria basically means that words don't really matter. Because if you can have something like this where you can basically just change how you can use the, they, but because it is used, in general discourse, whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like, it's one thing where I'm thinking about, because one word that comes up a lot is, racism, and something I've mentioned before, where you have people, especially in academia, that wants to add the power aspect to racism, where if you are, so basically to make it seem where if you are a minority, then you can't be racist because you don't have it goes back to the whole, the notion of institutionalized racism and whatnot. So people that want to basically absolve any minority from having hatred towards another race of people, to put all of that on whoever the majority is. And which is not true, because, and whenever you say that, then someone wants to bring up the definition of racism. And when you look that up, now Merriam-Webster still has racism being what it's always been. A belief that race is the primary determinant of human traits and capacities, and that racial differences produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. That's all they have. I mean, they have a couple other definitions, but they're all kind of the same. So they kept it, it's still quite simple. But if you look up on their website, they turn around and kind of, make it seem like it really doesn't matter. Because if you look it up on their website, and at the bottom of it, after the definition, they'll say something like, on their page, dictionaries are often treated as the final arbiter in arguments over a word's meaning. But that's not always, but they are not always well suited for settling disputes. So, and if that's the case, then what does it matter? It basically make words don't matter, because words can mean whatever they mean to however someone feels about the word, because that's what they're saying in this on their page. So, like at the end of it, it'll say, when discussing the concepts like racism, therefore, it is prudent to recognize that quoting from a dictionary is unlikely to either mollify or persuade the person with whom one is arguing. Because, now it's just all about how you feel about the word. So, because people have been feeling that this particular word for I don't know how long, they feel like, well, it's only racist if people, if the majority has power, and like I said, want to add the power aspect to this definition of racism, because they feel that way, then it's just automatically justified, and it should be considered, I guess, their truth, which, like in that sense, then nothing means nothing. No words can have any absolute, no universal definition. If that's the case, if that's how we're going to go with it. So I can see now if someone wants to use the dictionary term, then they're like, well, that's not how it feels to me. That doesn't matter. But now you have these institutions like Merriam-Webster out here basically saying that they're right. So what's the point of a dictionary? You could just write a whole bunch of gibberish and say, no, I meant it to be this, to say this. But you said that, whatever that gibberish is. But that's not what it meant. That's not how I felt about it. You know, I would like to see a college student try to take this, to the extreme and just, like I said, just write a whole bunch of gibberish and then turn it in, and the professor was like, well, none of this makes sense. And then the student would say, no, this is how I felt, and this is what I meant. And just write out something completely different and said, now that's what I was talking about. But that's not what you wrote. You wrote all of this gibberish, hieroglyphics, whatever, on this, essay. But that's how I felt. And I can just, that would just, yeah. I don't know if someone would have the time and the courage to actually do that. But yeah, I mean, this is coming from the people who want to make the Constitution say whatever they want it to say, to the point, they don't even want to follow the Constitution at all. They just want to get rid of it. Because at first it was just like, well, it's a living, breathing document, so it's to evolve, and it means, it basically just means whatever we want it to mean. And so with people like the people at Merriam-Webster now, so yeah, it's well, I mean, we're just devolving into madness. It's a crazy world, it really is. But we're gonna get to our interview with the Amy Robbins and Emily Valentine. And so after a word from Politichicks, we'll go right into our interview.
Very as subtle as a sledgehammer. This is Trend Chat.
Hello, this is Brian Bledsoe, host of Trend Chat, also contributor at Politichicks.com. Here to tell you about the new book called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, with over 300 pages from contributors like myself, talking about topics such as education, social issues, healthcare, the Second Amendment, and of course, activism. I encourage you all to check it out at Politichicks.com, and is also available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Hello, this is Trend Chat, and we are very pleased to have a returning guest and also a first-time guest. But we're having them together. It's not your average gun girls. It's Amy Robbins and Emily Valentine. How you doing?
I liked the sound of that, Em.
I did too. I thought that was. I don't really feel like we get to be on like this side that often, so it's kind of nice.
We don't, and I kind of like that first time together. It's not your average gun girls.
It is.
I love it. Yeah, it's really funny, Brian, because we. When we came up with our name of our podcast, I think some people had this misconception of what we were trying to do, what we were trying to accomplish, and we actually were trying to make it very inclusive to so many people, because when both of us got into the whole gun world, we didn't feel like there was anyone that we could relate to. I didn't have a military background.
No.
I was definitely not a hunter, and I was definitely not a competitive shooter.
No, not at all, right?
I was like, so I guess that if that's the average gun girl, I am definitely not your average gun girl, because I don't know. So, and we've come to find out.
We found each other, and then we have found more and more women who are relatable and just like us, and who are not your average gun girl, and we all share that common theme of wanting to protect our Second Amendment and know how to defend ourselves.
Yeah, I know you have found a lot of non-average gun girls here at this conference, which has been so much fun.
Now, as a one of your male listeners, so I'm very supportive and wanting to, listen and also watch now.
Thank you.
So, and notice that the podcast is now on Oplens. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's on 2 different platforms. We are still with the Concealed Carry Network on the audio side, where you can find us on, Emily, tell us all the places.
Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Play.
iTunes,
yeah, all the, wherever you listen to your podcast, whatever apps you use, you can find us there. And then now we are with OpsLens TV for the visual aspect of it, so you can listen to us while you're on your commute through whatever podcast, or if you feel like giving us a watch, which we love, hop on over to opslensmedia.com. They also have an app that you can watch us. Oftentimes we'll Skype in our guests, or we'll have them in studio. So it's a fun change up, and we've got so many more plans for where we want to take the show. So we're super excited about that, and it's just going to be a slow and steady growth for that. So I think it's an awesome opportunity that we're so thankful
our set. I want to just live in our living room looking set.
Office.
I want that as my office and everything. The only downside is now we actually have to fix our hair and do our makeup and get dressed. Whereas when we did our
struggle is real.
The struggle is real, Brian. Yes.
So I know you were saying as far as wanting to, I guess, have more plans for the podcast. I mean, can you reveal some of it? Can we get an exclusive of it?
Loose plans. We don't want to give it all away because, we like to keep our listeners on their toes. But we kind of keep everything to interviews right now. But we want to branch out, and we're going to start doing maybe some other segments. But we're not going to release what those segments are. But it's going to be a nice, bigger, expanded show.
Yep, kind of what you would come to expect from a TV show.
Yeah.
A little different than a podcast, but yeah. So we're excited. So stay tuned. Yeah.
So Emily, we haven't had you on before, but we know it's Style Me Tactical. Is that correct? So,
yes.
So tell us about that.
Sure. It's a lifestyle blog that is, I created that as a way to empower women to think about their personal safety by encouraging them to think about, what they would do to defend themselves, how they would defend themselves, and most importantly, how they can defend themselves without sacrificing their style. And that was something that was really important to me when I got into the firearms world. My story started with my husband wanting to get a gun for home defense, and I was not opposed to that. But at that time, I went out and was looking for some information that I could relate to and that I could watch and be okay, yeah, I can do this, and it just wasn't out there. So I had decided I'm going to just start blogging about my own journey, and maybe I can inspire and help other women. And through that, I have met so many great women, and now I do a lot of concealed carry tips and tricks, and just trying to promote the personal safety aspect and empower women to know that you can defend yourself, and you don't have to give up your skinny jeans and heels, because I'm not going to do it. So
all right.
And the Rag & Bone tactical belt. We're still trying to convince Rag & Bone to actually make a tactical belt, even though Emily uses hers as a tactical belt all the time. Mm-hmm.
And Amy, what is new with Alexo Athletica?
We have so many new things coming down the pipeline. As soon as I get ready to announce it, I will give you a call and let you know. But we've got something really big coming up in the fall. I can't tell you guys yet what that is, but just be on the lookout for new lines, new products. We really saw that we have a very diverse group of women that follow Alexo, very diverse needs. So with those diverse needs, we wanted to start expanding our line and making new products that would fit all of their lifestyle. So without sacrificing function on some level, we know that we wanted to give other people options. So while at the core, our mission will always be supporting the Second Amendment, we know that Second Amendment gives women the right to choose how they want to protect and defend themselves. So not every woman carries a firearm. So in the future, if you see some things that you can't necessarily carry a firearm in, we're still going to be promoting your right to carry mace, carry a taser, carry a pocket knife, carry your phone, carry things that can help you be situationally aware and prepared to defend and protect yourself. And also, you're just when you buy Alexo, you are instantly a part of a community. You're part of Team Alexo, which feels like it's our family, and you're supporting a business that is never going to back down from supporting your rights. And I think right now we're starting to see this trend, especially in the fashion community, beauty industry. are seeing people speak out against traditional American values, speak out against the Second Amendment, and it helps. It's just so great that we have a loyal base that wants to support us while we are in turn supporting your rights, and will never back down from doing that.
Now, I think the first time we met was at the Young Women's Leadership Summit 2 years ago.
Was that what 2017, where we both attended that, actually. Yeah. I think I was with Antonia. We were doing some stuff with Empowered, and which that organization is just killing it right now, too. But she introduced us together.
Yeah, and so we're here at the Young Women's Leadership Summit now, here in 2019. And so I guess express the atmosphere here and what you're getting from the event so far.
You go first.
I'm kind of left a little bit speechless because I'm in awe of the women and the young ladies that we're seeing, and just how poised and classy, educated, and how they have this community together, and they're learning from each other. And what I love the most is that I think some of the things that Amy and I talk about, or one of our main missions is about empowering women to be self-reliant and think about personal safety. And of all the women that we spoke to, we didn't have to bring that up. That was conversation that they were bringing up on their own, and it's so encouraging to hear that they are thinking about that, about personal safety. They are thinking about sort of having that mindset, and I'm just wow, this is awesome. This is the younger generation, and these women who are here are going to help build and uplift and kind of spread that message. And it's just
because the entire celebration here this weekend is about celebrating freedom. Yeah. And those of us who do start to take our personal safety and responsibility serious is because we understand that is a freedom that we have in this country. And so I think that's a recurring theme this weekend is freedom. It's freedom to express our belief in God. It's freedom to express our belief and our love for this country, for the Constitution. And I love seeing that energy because Amelia is so right. There's been just so much class, and everyone is so put together here, and they're respectful. And I've sat down, many places around this hotel this weekend, and I've heard good dialogue and discussion of opposing views. And, not everyone that's here at this conservative convention agrees on 100% of the issues, but what I've been able to hear is them sit down and actually debate, have civilized debate again, and do it in a respectful way. And then guess what? They usually give each other a hug and they go on their merry way. We're not seeing people scream and yell and fight. And a lot of women here that are here, especially some of the influencers, have had some really terrible things happen to them. And there's some strength in numbers is what we're seeing. So, just because I want to tell people, just because you may be, going through some persecution because of your beliefs, wherever you're at right now, you're not alone, and there is strength. So Turning Point is bringing all these people together and giving them a home, providing them with a community to go and find that support that they need so that they don't have to think that they're alone in expressing their values and their beliefs anymore.
So if people want to find either of you on social media, Not Your Average Gun Girls, Style Me Tactical, Alexa. I know. I'm
kind of all over the place. Right?
Where would they go for all of that?
The best place is going to be Instagram, and you can find myself, Emily, at Style Me Tactical on Instagram. You can also find my blog, stylemetactical.com, and then for our show, at Not Your Average Gun Girls on Instagram. Pretty simple. That's kind of where we promote most of our stuff, and then of course to watch the show and listen, we said podcast and then Ops Lens Media would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say definitely come follow us at Alexa Athletica on Instagram. That's where it's all happening. That's really where the bulk of our community is hanging out, chatting with each other. That's where we let everybody know about our new product releases, and you definitely want to make sure you're following us because our new products sell out really quickly. And so there's a lot of excitement going on Instagram, but of course our website is alexoathletica.com. And I've got a personal Instagram, the Amy Robbins, which you'll get some different content. every now and then on there. I've been a little busy lately to really run that page, but those are that's our main form of communication is through that. And if you go to our website, you can actually sign up. You can sign up for your newsletter too. Go to both of our websites, StolemyTactical.com, AlexaAthletica.com, and sign up for our newsletters. We don't send annoying emails. Right. We don't spam and flood your mailbox with like annoying stuff. It's like good content, and it's discounts on things. You get the first opportunity to shop when new products come out. It's usually at a discounted rate, even before we open it up to the public. So I make you that promise that I will not send you annoying newsletters. So it pays to be on our newsletter list. It pays to be on Emily's newsletter list. So go sign up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yep, and thanks to Amy and Emily for joining us. So, as I mentioned before, this was recorded a couple of months ago, and this was before, I guess one of the things Amy was talking about as far as what was new coming up for Alexo. But now that has come out, and so we're just going to play an announcement of it so you can get an idea of what's new with Alexo.
So here we are. We're 2 years into this, and we started by launching a collection of signature carrywear line that was packed with pockets and the ability for women to carry self-defense tools on their body, including the ability to carry a firearm. Well, as we grew, our team quickly realized that we have a really diverse client base, and we wanted to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Not every single one of them had a need for all of that storage space, and not all of them wanted to carry a firearm. So they wanted pockets, just with a different purpose. So our solution? Well, here we are, and we are launching a brand new line called Carrywear Lite. Still has storage space, just fewer pockets, and without the holsters. So to help us do that, we wanted to partner with a really strong advocate for women's rights to defend themselves, and that's exactly what we did with this new line, Freedom.
I think there are a lot of young girls out there that don't really feel like they have a brand that represents their freedom. They don't feel like they have a brand that represents their rights. It's kind of been taken over by a certain group of people, and I wanted my fans, my followers, my friends to have a line that they could wear and feel proud to be an American, feel proud of freedom, proud of the country that they live in, and that's really what this line represents beyond just being a fun, sporty line. I think it's young people that are saying, I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. It's not just a pair of leggings and a sports bra. This is bigger. This is saying that somebody like me has a place in this industry, whereas we might often be locked out of it. That's what Alexo is. That's what Freedom by Tommy Lahren is. It's a community. It's a friendship. It's a following of people that want to wear something and support also being able to get into an area where people tell us we shouldn't be able to get into. So Alexo is a brand that I've supported for a long time just on my own because I believe in that message. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in freedom. Now, my line doesn't have a gun holster in it, and that was important to me also because I believe that there are a lot of young people out there that really aren't ready to have a gun holster in their pants, but they like the idea behind it. They like the messaging behind it. They believe in the Second Amendment, and they want to wear something from a company and a person like me that really do represent that, because whether or not they're going to put a gun in it, whether or not they're going to put their phone in it, it really doesn't matter. It's about freedom. It's about the Bill of Rights. It's about constitutional freedoms. That's what this whole line is about. That's what Alexo was about. And so I've been a supporter of this brand for a long time for that reason.
Hey, I'm Amy Robbins.
And I'm Emily Valentine. And we are not
your average gun girls.
And you're listening to Trend Chat with Brian Bledsoe.
This is Trend Chat.
Yep, and thanks to Amy and Emily for joining us, and also with that, announcement. It's the Freedom Collection from Alexo Athletica, and that's been out for a little over a month now, and so it's a Freedom Collection by Tommy Lahren. So check them out at Alexo Athletica, and also don't forget to check out Emily's at Style Me Tactical. So like I said, again, just thanks for them for joining us. And so I know one thing I guess people maybe have noticed is that we are playing a lot of interviews from a couple of months ago, and that was the last of all the interviews we did at the Young Women's Leadership Summit in June, actually. And so I never thought it was going to take this long, but I got so many interviews, and I thought I was just going to play them all in the next couple of weeks after the event, and then circumstances and all what happened, and so we had to hold off on a lot. And so, but that was all of those of the interviews that we did there. So we'll I guess have something a little more current as far as whatever our next couple of interviews will be. But I just want to I guess I want to get to this one other story because I'm just going to get to it right quick because it is another thing that kind of has really got really ticked me off in a way. Because so in Atlanta, or Conyers, outside Atlanta, a homeowner fatally shoots 3 masked teens who were trying to rob him. It was an attempted robbery. And okay, someone trying to break into your house or whatnot, and you use your right to self-defense. And now, mind you, this was at 4 a.m. So it was also, it's not like it was in the middle of the day or anything like that. Not that it matters, but still, this was early in the morning, and this homeowner shot these. Well, at that time, I don't know if he knew they were teens or whatever. He was just shooting someone that was coming in his house and trying to rob him. And so, unfortunately, all 3 died from what I'm reading. And that's, that is sad to have that happen. But the most frustrating part of all this is that the people, I guess, friends and family of these teens, or at least one of them, they came out, I guess, pretty much the next day, and basically was saying that the homeowner didn't have to kill him, didn't have to shoot him, and basically making it seem that the person who protected their property was their fault. Like, it's in nothing that from these these family members or friends or whatnot, which, I mean, yeah, obviously we try to look for the best in our family, at least, and put them in the most positive light. But still, to go so far and to make it seem like try to make them look like the victim for coming in someone else's house and paying the consequences for that. And so now they're just trying to focus, well, he didn't have to kill him. That's one thing that they mentioned, or saying that it was overkill. So, because you have one of them say, that's not how it's supposed to go. I understand one shot to stop the people, the victims or whatever, but to aggressively shoot these little teens, that's overkill. That's too much to handle. That's what one of them said. So that's not how it's supposed to go. Like, how was it supposed to go? Well, they were supposed to be successful in robbing them, or okay, they encounters the homeowner or whoever it is, and they fire off one shot and they just take off. Okay, oh well, we didn't rob this house. Let's go to the next house that don't have any protection. Let's just do it. That's how it's supposed to go, I guess. So, and then you have others that's making it seem like he was a church boy or whatever, or what. I mean, like, one of the teens that they talking about, at least, saying like he was a nice dude. He would have given you anything, if he would have asked. I mean, if that's the case, probably because he stole it. But I'm just saying. I mean, but see, the reason why this is kind of really I guess grinding my gears in a way is like this is the type of emotional manipulation that people are going to be, the general public is going to be persuaded to give up their right to self-defense, because you're going to have something like this where the criminal's family are going to be made out to look sympathetic, making the person who rightfully defended their property to look like the bad guy. Just because their little hooligan cousins or whatever tried and fatally failed at stealing someone's property, and then we'll turn around and act like they the victim. I mean, the mentality of victimhood in this world, I mean, it's just maddening. It's maddening. I mean, to the point where I'm just, yeah. But I mean, again, like they're just trying to sugarcoat how these perpetrators, as far as making them seem like I said, he was a nice dude and all that, and that's how it's being framed. And basically, the homeowner in this story is made to look like he or she is in the wrong for exercising their right to self-defense, to protecting their property. I mean, and this is going to be one of the ways, you're going to have media pulling this, slanting it, showing it in this way, right? And then you're going to have those people, those gun grabbers out there, those anti-gun groups and all that, Democrat candidates during debates will be out there saying something like, see, people shouldn't have guns because, they don't know how to use them. They'll, like one of these people mentioned, it was overkill. He didn't have to shoot him. He didn't have to do this or that. And basically they'd rather have us defenseless, with the government providing everything, including our own personal safety, which is not surprising. You hear, especially from all these Democrats, that, everything is, the government is supposed to basically take care of you from cradle to grave, basically. And especially when it comes to something like self-defense. And they'll use something like this story to try to make their case. And so they'll basically appeal to the people who are either too mentally weak to accept the responsibility of self-defense and any other thing that requires personal responsibility, or just too lazy to do it, or the people who are truly incapable of doing it, and or just wanting control over our lives, because a disarmed citizenry is right for Democrat, socialist, communist tyrants, to truly impose their destructive will on all of us in this country. So, that is coming. Yeah, it's not even coming. It's here, and it's just continually to grow. And like I mentioned last episode, where the polls are steadily ticking up, where the general public is accepting this, where they're basically being groomed to not take responsibility for their own personal safety or to protect their property. And it's all being framed around that you don't need to protect yourself. You don't need to take any responsibility. Leave it all up to the government. That's what these Democrats are basically have been preaching for years. It's not just now. It's always what they've been about at least for the past couple of decades. But anyway, I am getting close to an hour. I'm not going to go over an hour on you, on all you people who are listening. I appreciate you if you've been listening so far. I really do. And like, share, subscribe. Like I said, I appreciate everyone that has been listening so far, from the beginning to now, or whenever you've been listening. I really appreciate it. And 5-star reviews on whatever platform you're listening to this to. And appreciate your feedback, whatever, about this. And like I said, well, I already told you who will be on in 2 weeks, but we don't know who will be on next week. And so I guess you just have to check out on all the social media platforms and all that. So all that being said, thank you for listening again. And until next time, we'll chat with you later.